you know, I'd like to give you a little update. We've got a balanced budget in the state of Florida, just to get that out of the way. Why? The Constitution says we're a balanced budget before we can leave Tallahassee, so just want you to know you got a balance. The budget's grown about $3 billion, which I just like that. We had money to spend, and it should have been spent on the career source, and I'm very sorry about that. To go along with that, I was introduced to a new vision that's going to happen here in Okaloosa County. How many of you have ever heard of a Veterans Lodge? Has anyone ever heard of it? Okay. How many of you know Mr. Ronnie Watts? Okay. How many of you know Edwin Watts? I can tell y'all not a lot of golf players in here, or you'd have known Edwin Watts. Okay. You know, Edwin, Ronnie, and James. And of course, James is does a lot of mission work. James Watts, which is Ronnie's son, does a lot of mission work overseas. But I was introduced to a lady by the name of Julie Smith. Julie Smith had the wherewithal, but what she wanted to do was do something for our veterans. Well, when I heard about doing something for the veterans, that really affected me, because this past session I stood on the floor because, you know, we've got 22 veterans a day committing suicide. 22 veterans a day. And I was told, and did the research on it, and found that if we would allow those veterans to use the medical marijuana, that it would reduce that number significantly. Because there's no euphoric, you don't get high on it, but it just sort of takes care of it, mellows you out. Well, so I fought for that amendment, and it died on a 1919 vote. And I felt like that a vote against that was a vote against our military, because if we can save one person, just one veteran, we've done a lot. You know, and veterans have always been near and dear to my heart. In fact, one of the first bills that I ever passed when I was in the Florida House was a bill that if a homeless person, were to pass, that his records be sought to see if he was a veteran, and if he was, he would receive military honors. I just felt like that was the least we could do. Because, you know, we asked of our military to do so much, and of the veterans and their families. And I don't feel like the VA is covering our veterans as they should. But, you know, going on with that, Miss Julie Smith, I met her. I met a representative from, how many folks know D.R. Horton Homes? A lot of folks. Y'all got D.R. Horton Homes? No. But you've heard of D.R. Horton. Okay. All right. D.R. Horton is working with Ronnie Watts, working with Julie Smith, to actually create the Veterans Lodge. Now, what this Veterans Lodge is for veterans that are suffering from PTSD, are homeless, or doesn't have a job, and this right here would give them the ability to do that. And they would receive treatment. They would get their health care. They would also get counseling. They would get rehabilitation services, as well as they would receive job training. In fact, D.R. Horton Homes, well, let me tell you where this is going to be located. It's going to be located just south of the interstate in Holt, Florida. In fact, they're looking at opening up a wing of the old Holt School, and actually starting the counseling and the rehabilitation and this type of thing in the near future to get it started. Ultimately, there's about 300 and something acres that will be involved in this. There will be a medical facility. There will be camping facilities, because there's different standards when you come in. If you have to have a camper and you'd like to bring your family, or if you want to bring your family, you can stay up to 6 months at about $700 a month, and to receive treatment. They'll be, you know, because horse riding seems to have an effect of calming a person with PTSD, and there's been a lot of work done with that. And so there will be a horse riding arena there. There will be classrooms there. There will be the medical facilities. There'll be, you know, horse housing, and what they're predicting is 200 veterans a year can go through the program. Now, across the way, D.R. Horton is going to open up some type of manufacturing facility that will actually train and employ these veterans as they come through the program. So we're talking about veterans getting a leg up, getting a hand up on this. We're not talking about somebody that's in it for the money, because there's not a lot of money to be made when you're giving away a lot of free care or at minimal cost. So when you go to talking about the money, one of the things you've got to realize is it's going to take money to do the project, okay? All right, they're not asking for any state monies, they're not asking for any federal monies. They're actually going out on their own. They will do a bond initiative of some $5 million for the facility up front. The bonds are already scheduled and the bonds are already sold as soon as they get it done. So, you know, and one of the reasons, you know, when I was talking with John, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and before I forget, let me throw this out there. You know, a lot of our veterans, as they come back, they have prosthetics and orthodontic, so they need care in that. And Williams is going to supply that along with Good 360, which is a Alexander, Virginia-based company that works with Walmart and a lot of Fortune 500 companies that will be actually working in this, as long with the Florida State University will also be working, because what we're going to do is, if a veteran comes in and, you know, he will be tested and he will be given an opportunity to actually increase his education for a particular type job or a skill that he may need. Also, we've got Brasfield and Corey that will be working with them also. But going back, the veteran comes in, he's checked in, he receives a counselor, he will go through medical, there will be a work plan for him to go through this particular program. And it's just, and you know, I felt like that the best way to get this out there was to come to organizations like this to tell you guys, because you guys know of folks that could use this. And also, they accept volunteers. So, you know, a lot of you are retired, don't have a lot you want to do. You know, it would give you an opportunity to help your brothers that have went through the service that maybe weren't as fortunate as you were. Because, you know, the PTSD not only affects the actual person that served in the military, it also affects the family. And it affects the family in dire strait and you know, serious manner. It affects the family. So, you know, I'm very proud of the idea. I'm very proud that Ronnie and Edwin and James Watts donated the property. So we're not investing in the property. They're actually going to do donations of it. D.R. Horton Homes is going to help build facilities at low and no cost. And then, of course, Julie Smith. And it's amazing because actually Julie was a realtor over in Marianna, Florida. And she came up with this and heard about different programs like this. And that's when she reached out and started talking with people. And I met, and they were bringing in some of the retired generals and stuff because, you know, we're not trying to take anything from the military. We're not trying to take anything from the Veterans Administration. But what we are trying to do is take care of our veterans. They've got some new techniques coming on with the barometric chambers that they're using that's actually supposed to assist with the healing of PTSD. And so what I'm asking, and that was part of the reason that I told John that I would love to come to talk with you about this, is number one, to get your input on it, things that you think that needs to be included in it, and to let you know what the vision is and where we're going with the vision. And so, you know, if you've got any questions or would like to ask anything about it, I'd certainly accept, you know, and I'll be the first to say, I don't know it all, but I can find out, or I can put you in touch with the person that can. But, you know, when we talk about PTSD, it affects families in so hard and dire straits because, you know, through my process of being a state senator, how many phone calls did I get from the spouses of the military and the problems that they have with the Veterans Administration, and they can't get treatment. And then also, you know, that was part of the reason that we actually set up in our state prisons. We set up the veterans dorms because these folks cannot come out and fit back into society. They still need a regimented schedule. So what we did, we set up those norms to where it would act just like a military installation, those norms. And it allows for those folks to get their feet planted back on the ground before they go back out. And, you know, so, you know, I'll be glad to answer any questions you got, tell you any more that I know about it. I mean, you know, I just think it's a great deal, and it's right here in Okaloosa County. And I think that, and another reason I'm trying to do this is to get support in the community for this. You know, I know this is a heavy military community, but to get the support of each of the people in the community. So with that, you know, I'll be glad to answer any questions. Anybody got any questions? And if not, I can sit down. Because I understand the ladies that cook some.